Parthenogenesis. Alright, I gotta teach y'all how babies are made. That's funny. I know. Alright, I was talking about how God is able to use this kid who is the black sheep. She's the outcast. She's the weirdo. She's the one that's always in nature doing something with some animal that's being attracted to her. What they're saying. Genesis is about what's taking place in a woman. And when they get kicked out, that's just them being birthed. So, okay, they tell you that you were in your grandmother's stomach, right? I'm gonna read this book part. The egg that eventually forms the fetus, the grandchild, was present in the grandmother's womb, passed down through her daughter, the mother. So, what this is saying is, when your grandmother was pregnant with your mother already had her eggs within her. So that's how you and your mother is inside your grandmother. So they're alluding to the fact that that a woman's egg is already fertilized, but they're just not telling you. And then they're going to say that it's not just the egg, the oocyte, right? The oocyte, which is like the precursor to the egg, right? But the oocyte has polar bodies, right? And polar body has a nucleus and the mitochondrial DNA, which they're going to say, when you read it, science is going to tell you that it has half of the DNA. But they're not saying half as in like 50-50. Oocyte. This is a polar body. This is a polar body splitting into 3, right? As it develops. But this is all like precursor to like an actual fetus, right? But this is what they call nothing. It's like an egg before it develops. It has a polar body within it. And the polar body has a nucleus. And it has the mitochondrial DNA. Science says it only has half the DNA, and that's because it's missing the dad's DNA, right? But we know that's only like a play on words because DNA is not 50-50. You don't get half of your DNA from your mom and half from your dad. You get 90% from your mom and you get 10% from your dad. That's with anything. Electromagnetic energy is the God energy, and the God energy is 90% feminine and 10% masculine. The subconscious is 90%, which is, or you use it 90%, which is the feminine, and your actual physical brain is 10%. You use it 10% of the time because it's masculine, it's physical. That's the formula across the board. Feminine, 90%, masculine, 10%. That's how it goes. So nothing is half. They playing with your talk on with the wording. So what this means is you're 90% there, and you're only missing 10%, which you're not actually missing, but you know what I'm saying. It's just not there. It's not actually necessary. So if you put a woman in a certain frequency or vibration, she can activate her own egg. But what is happening is what the Bible is explaining, and what, again, we're playing out these energies on all levels. we're just repeating this stuff because we haven't corrected it. And if you know shadow work is going to keep bringing it up until we deal with it. This is a collective issue, so it's brought up collectively until we deal with it. And we're not dealing with it because we don't even understand that this is a problem. We think this is how it's supposed to go. It's not. But so there's a takeover happening. Number one, a man is supposed to hold in his semen, right? Call it no fap. You need that. That's your life sustaining force that you need to raise up. That's your kundalini. We were taught on breeding camps. You were taught to release inside of her, right? This creates the takeover that the Bible speaks of. And this Anunnaki shit. He is going in, and there is a war happening because she is actually fighting him off. Because she knows she don't need it, you know? So it's a matter of if he wins or if she wins. This is where you get a group of parthenogenic people and a group of non-parthenogenic people. But you can't tell because of the way we've been programmed to think of how you have a baby, like what the process is. But a woman's egg is already fertilized with a polar body. So when his semen enters her egg, it creates what you would call a war, and there is the actual spark that happens, which the spark is what science calls fertilization. But fertilization doesn't require a spark. There is no spark. It's a burst of energy, because that's what electricity does. It's a burst of energy to create a certain frequency that activates this egg, this polar body. It then will merge with it to create a child, or the mother fights it off and creates her own child, or she'll abort the whole mission and miscarry. The semen is going in and creating the polar body in its image. To be like it. It is imprinting if it doesn't take over. It's like the best word I can use. It's kind of what the movie called Twilight, where you got two daddies. One is imprinted, and the other one is like it took over, and it's a biological part. But what they're saying is there's two kinds of people. One that wasn't taken over and one that was. And the one that wasn't taken over is her mother's son. You know what I'm saying? They're usually very gifted, very strange. When I say mother, I mean like the great mothers. The Lilith energy, or the Sophia energy, or the Isis energy, or the Anana energy, or wherever the hell you from, and whatever name you're used to, that one. The great mother. I unplug mine, as always. It's that way.